Hey everyone, this is Passion Project, how you can use Newsela to investigate a topic of student choice and increase learner impact. This is Mario for YCC Wonder PD 2020, and this is really a response to some of the feedback we got in trying to look for ways to increase student impact with Newsela. So this is my attempt to provide some ideas, and hopefully it's useful for you in your trimester 2. The information is on these various handouts, but the slideshow here is more of a quick cheat sheet that I'm going to walk you through. So for the most part, we know that Newsela is the website you go to assign articles, and the articles have questions equipped with the articles and students answer them. But you might run into probably the redundancy where students might lose interest in just going to Newsela and answering for questions over and over. So this one is really how you can use Newsela to be integrated in your virtual classroom to increase student impact and the learning. So we're going to discover in this session how students can have agency in selecting a research topic of their choice, how students can use Newsela articles to guide curiosity and inquiry, and how to synthesize, analyze, and present research findings. So here's a quote that many of us have heard of before. Maybe it depends on your age. The quote says, "If you build it, they will come." And this is something that we're going to revisit later in the slideshow. And the source is, it says here, some overused quote from an old film that is now cliche, but sometimes still rings true. But the real movie is Field of Dreams, which that kind of reveals my age. But this is kind of really like the motif of the slideshow, that students are creating these presentations, and the idea is that what they create is reflective of their learning, but that it also promotes a community building and learning in the virtual classroom. So we'll come back to this quote later. All right, so what is a passion project? The passion project is a unit plan that gives students agency and liberty to explore Newsela based on a topic of their choice, with the purpose of investigating news articles in an effort to synthesize and collect information into a presentation format that fosters community building and learning. And you have a heart there because the idea is that this learning is student driven of their choice, and the hope is that they love it and they create these awesome presentations. So we all know students have interests. You know, they might be into sports, video games, technology, science, art. I mean, these are just a few topics, but there's a lot out there. And we know, or we probably do know, that students will read something that will interest them. Of course, you got students that will read things that you will assign them because they are going to do it because they want the credits. But also, if there's something that gauges their interest, they might have more investment in the text. So this idea is that you're tapping into what students want to read, and you let them decide for themselves what they should read. And so what follows here will be the steps toward creating a passion project. So the step one is you want to brainstorm, or not you, but have your students brainstorm topics of interest. This handout that you see here is a screenshot, but it's included in the folder of what they can fill out. And really, it's meant to be a way to really explore what interests them of any topics, reading topics, but other topics that don't have to do about reading. And in this handout, they complete each box where they fill out what they enjoy learning about school, and outside of school, what they like, and also in their free time, what they like to do. And really, the purpose here is to just explore, again, interests in the classroom, outside the classroom, and let them just really make a list, or in this sense, fill out each box. The bottom part, they can probably start searching Newsela texts that connect with the Brainstorm above. But I think really my opinion is really they just kind of explore topics. And this could probably be in one day as well. Then step two, once they come up with these topics and they look at what they have to make a choice. They have to decide what is it that they want to further investigate. So these screenshots, you have this blue color handout that is titled Passion Project Proposal, and a pink one that is titled Forming Questions. The blue one is where they decide what topic they're going to focus on. So let's say in here, step one, they have 4 ideas in the yellow box of what they enjoyed learning about, maybe 5 ideas in the purple box of what they like to do outside of school. In the pink box, maybe they have 3 things they write down of what they like to do with the free time. So maybe they might put things like play guitar or mow the lawn. It's really open. But then eventually when they get to here, the proposal, the blue sheet, they have to decide, okay, of all those ideas, what do I want to focus on the most? Any ideas that they want to pick one that really, really interests them. Not what you tell them, but what they choose for themselves. From the blue handout, they move on to the pink one, and then they begin to generate questions about the topic that can become the inquiry that they take with them when they begin to research Newsela. Okay. And then eventually begins the reading. They go to Newsela. They hopefully they've had a chance to explore the website at this point, but if this is your first time integrating Newsela into your virtual classroom, probably a good idea to explore the website or explore with them, maybe do a walkthrough of some of the features. But at some point, the students will be the ones to go on their own, and they're going to select their reading articles, and they're going to be able to save them as well. So they go here, they research, they read articles, they can take notes, annotate the text. And of course, they can complete the corresponding quizzes that come with the articles. And the idea is that they're going to look for 3 articles. This could be a day, maybe 2 days if you want to stagger it. Maybe it's 1 per day. It really depends on your class arrangement at your sites in terms of how often you offer synchronous and asynchronous classes. Then the unit plan goes into having students do outside reading that is not Newsela, such as other news articles like the LA Times, the New York Times, Washington Post, Huffington Post, but that in this part, they're continuing to explore their topic by researching articles outside of Newsela. And here, maybe you might have to provide recommendations of websites if it is a case that you have students who have never even probably searched a website like LA Times, maybe give them like some ideas of websites they might want to go to. Then the unit plan suggests for a third reading where they research media sources. And here, not so much tech-based media sources, but other sources of information that is about their topic, but could be in the form of a TED Talk, a documentary they might find on YouTube. Maybe there's a song that is about the topic. It's really open, but here they really are encouraged to continue their research by exploring media sources of their choices. So they've done all this research. They read up on the articles. They've taken notes. They should have a lot of information. Then they begin to draft what they're going to use to present their findings. And probably the one I think students might use the most could be Google Slides, since it is something that's fairly easy to use, and most teachers, if not all teachers, probably assign Google Slides assignments in their classroom, since we do use a lot of Google Drive for student assignments. Prezi, of course, is a wonderful tool to use for presentations, but they start doing a rough draft, right? They start to put together what they've learned, because the goal is they're going to share their knowledge with their peers, Okay, and this could take, well, you decide how many days. It could be a few days for them to draft the presentation. It could be, you make the call, but allow them to start putting things together. You decide if these slideshows should have any kind of images per slide, or what are the specifications for how you would like them to see, if they should have any headings. But then eventually, when they have these working drafts, they have to self-evaluate their own working slideshows. So this rubric that you will also find in the folder is what they're going to complete and look into their own information and their ideas, how they're organized, any creativity, that they're looking into these areas, and they have to self-evaluate. And the idea is that by looking at this rubric, they're using this to find any gaps that might be missing in their slideshow, or anything that needs to be fine-tuned for the final draft. And then peer evaluation comes next, where you have students evaluate each other's working slideshows. And here it's the same rubric, but now a peer or a friend provides feedback on what they see, right? And then students then take this feedback from their peers to further enhance and further revise their slideshows. Then you go to the final draft. They put the final touches, put transitions in place. If they want to put music, that's fine. That's really for you to decide. And then they go to presentation mode, and here they present their findings on that one topic that they um, decided at the start of this unit plan. So if they chose a topic such as um, football, because they love football, right? Then they're going to present their findings of what they read about on the topic of football, right? The idea is that this is meant to encourage students to really see the benefits of sharing their information, to share the knowledge, but also it taps into the culture building that is good to have in your classrooms, and especially in a virtual classroom where a lot is lost, is that you have these presentations in your Zoom classes, and just have students have fun. And that could probably help with engagement, and with attendance also, and probably even retention. Okay, so where can you find all the stuff? Well, for sure you will find this in the Win2PD folder. Look for the green folder titled Newsela Passion Project, and all the handouts you need for this unit plan is here, including the instructions and overview of the unit plan, which I give you like a quick uh, shortcut version. Brainstorm worksheets right here, the proposal, the forming questions. This is the pink sheet, the rubric, and graphic organizers, which I didn't get a chance to put a screenshot, but the graphic organizers are available for students to help collect their information. Probably best to look through those documents and see for yourself if they're useful. The unit plan calls for it's a 2-week unit, but really you decide if it's 3 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, because this will depend a lot on your site arrangements, your site needs, how often you meet with your students. And so don't worry about that it's 2 weeks. Just you decide how long it takes in order for this unit plan to be the most effective possible. Okay, so remember that quote, if you build it, they will come. I think it's true. If students know that their other peers are creating these slideshows about these topics that sound pretty cool, they're going to want to check out the slideshow. They're going to show up. And if they're especially proud of their own product, like let's say that they chose a topic of beauty, or like makeup, right? Guitar playing, something very personal, but also like very all about them. They'll be invested to create their slideshow to be pretty proud of it. So, and if that happens, they know for sure that you have created a classroom of engaged learners. And really, that's how you increase student impact. Okay. All right. That's all. Go here for the resources. Hopefully, you come by office hours, ask questions, let me know. Take care.